subscribed yet, be sure to subscribe. I upload Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays every single week. Today, we are going over my drugstore foundation routine. We're starting from my primer, then we're going to the foundation, concealer, setting powder, what I do to get a flawless look with affordable products, affordable prices. These items you can pick up at Walmart, Walgreens, Ulta, Amazon. I'll have everything linked down below. But if you're curious to see exactly how I go about my drugstore foundation routine, go ahead and keep on watching. This is all drugstore, and usually with my everyday routine, I always start with some kind of moisturizer if I don't have a primer. But if you do have a really hydrating primer, if you have dry skin, go in with that. Today, I am using the e.l.f. Jelly Pop Dew Primer. This is incredibly affordable. It is $8. It is a great option if you have dry skin or combination skin. It's supposed to really hydrating, give you a sheer glow the entire day, which I love primers that are able to do all of those things. And with e.l.f. coming out with this one, and it comes with so much product. I think this is about, what, 1 ounce? Okay, I love how this has a pump, so we're gonna go in with that. And it does smell like watermelon, people. I cannot complain about that. You bring primer down your neck. I usually like to because I'm going to be putting foundation down my neck. The area that I really like to apply primer is right between my brows because that is where I crease the most. The foundation just tends to look so foundation-y right between my eyebrows. Do you have any of those problem areas? See, that really does just give like a nicest glow. This is really tacky. I have to get my foundation on because it's going to drive me insane. Today I'm going in with 2 different foundations. I'm actually going to mix these. This is the True Match Lumi by L'Oreal, and this is the shade N4 Buff Beige. This color, I got it online and it's a little too dark for me, so I'm going to be mixing it with one of my other tried and true, which is the L'Oreal Paris Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear Foundation. This is such a great foundation. These both are. This one's a little bit lighter though, so I'm going to mix that, and I'm almost out of this. So I figured it would be a good time to use that and to mix it up. When I mix foundation, I usually just squirt a few pumps on my hand. Maybe do a little bit more than that. And then I will mix it like that. I didn't even have this foundation for very long, but I traveled with it. I used it constantly. It's just one of those foundations I was very happy with, and for a drugstore price, it's always so satisfying finishing foundation. I can't even tell you. All right, so now it just kind of looks like that. It's still gonna be a little bit too dark for me, but I'm confident with the concealer, we are going to be able to it's gonna look good. So I like to go, so I put that on my face like this. Now, the L'Oreal Match Lumi, this has been one of my go-tos for years. It was one of the first foundations I tried before I even was into makeup, but I didn't know about setting powder or anything like that. So I like to go in with a sponge with these. These are more luminous foundations. Good coverage though. It leaves a really natural finish. I find if you're ever worried about the application of foundation, always try to go in with the sponge. I know it takes longer, but the finish is finer. The foundation doesn't lay on so thick, and so it's going to look more natural, more seamless. I'm getting stronger. Like with any foundation, everything is trial and error. There are some foundations that really only work well with the brush. The brush application is usually so much faster. I always like to bring my foundation down my neck just so there's no harsh line. The hard thing about that is if you're wearing a white shirt, you definitely don't want foundation transfer because foundation in clothes, oh, it's so hard to get out. In fact, I have not found a way to get foundation out of clothes, so. And with my nose, with foundation, I like to usually go in with the remnants of what is on my sponge on my nose and in between my brows. Since there's so many different creasing that can happen, and during the day I might squint or something like that, I definitely don't want to go in with too much of a heavy hand. And I like to bring my foundation up underneath my eyebrows. Your soul, we are heroes tonight. The color is still a little bit too dark for me, but you know, I'm going to be wearing long sleeve today, long pants, so It's really nothing to worry about in my opinion. I'm going to try to mix some more of this if I can. How long does it take you to go through a bottle of foundation? I'm curious. Lately, I can get through a bottle in about a month and a half if I just use that one.
The only thing I can see is my own silhouette. I'm getting stronger.
Okay, something I also forgot to mention that is really nice about this foundation is it comes in different undertones. So they have a neutral undertone, which is what I am, then the different shade ranges. And then they also have cool toned, and then they also have warm toned. So if you know what tone you are, it's really helpful because a lot of drugstore foundations, they don't do that for you. They just have names. So this L'Oreal Paris, same brand, just a different product. They don't offer if it's warm toned or cool toned, and then the pictures online can be so deceiving. You really don't want to have to worry about returning or not getting your perfect match. Go into Ulta, they always have a row of the shades out for sample. Once you know your undertone, it makes things so much easier. For me, during the winter, my shade is usually, I'm a neutral undertone with a light to medium skin tone. So the finish of both of those foundations is so beautiful. It's a dewy, infused, glowy, really hydrating. Because of that, we do need to set everything, but I will get to that later. We are going to go in with a concealer. One of my favorite concealers of all time is the Milani Conceal and Perfect, but I've really been enjoying this L'Oreal Paris Infallible 4. L'Oreal just seems to have they make some of the best foundations for the drugstore, and I've been so impressed with this L'Oreal Full Wear Concealer. So we are going to go in with that. My shade is Cashmere. I like to just create a little bit of a dome shape right here. So this is a thicker concealer, but it's really easy to blend out. Really easy. It's such a smooth finish. It somewhat reminds me of Tarte Shape Tape, but it's not that extreme. It's not that thick. It provides amazing coverage, and from my experience, it doesn't crease on me. I like to bring the concealer down my nose because that's going to help with my nose contour. I always like to bring it out about to right here and kind of create. The main parts I'm trying to conceal obviously are right underneath my eye because I do have a little bit darker discoloration, and I'm really trying to use this to contour, to highlight. And so if you have to go back in, this concealer is buildable, which is great. I'm gonna bring that up to about right here. It looks crazy right now. If you feel like you've gone too crazy, take the other end of your beauty blender that doesn't have any product on it, and it's really easy just to get that back under control. But you'd be surprised how, when you buff it out, how much of the product just slightly disappears. And then if you still feel like you might have added too much product, you can take that beauty blender with that product, and that's when we're going to chisel out right underneath our cheekbone. You can see the difference. So this side we have the concealer, this side we don't. I just love the brightening effect. With concealers, I usually like to carry a couple different shades. So I'll do a lighter shade like this, and then I'll also do a shade that's closer to my skin tone foundation if I'm not trying to go for a really brightening effect. But more often than not, I highly recommend going in with something that offers that brightening effect because it's just beautiful. After your makeup is finished, it really highlights those areas that you want highlighted. And I'm going to go in on this other side as well.
Anything I can see is my own silhouette. I'm getting stronger.
With my nose, I like to just kind of bring it straight. Any of the dark foundation part will still stay there to offer that contour.
All around the globe, trying to protect your soul. We are heroes.
So that's as far as I go with concealer. If you do have lines like shadowing right around your mouth or any kind of hormonal redness, you can go ahead and add concealer there. Like I said, this blends out really well It's really easy to use and the price is just amazing. I don't like to let everything sit for too long without setting it, especially the concealer. I feel like if you have to stop doing your makeup and go run and do something, try to wait until after you've set everything, and then you can always come back later to blend the rest of your makeup. Going in with this Wet n Wild Photo Focus translucent powder. This is such a great affordable option. It's only $6. It has so much product in it. And so I just take a little detail brush, something that's perfectly fits under your eye, and lightly tap that concealer. It's going to set it in place and make sure that it doesn't crease or slip and slide. And then I also take that powder and go on my T-zone, and then right underneath the other side of this eye. I just dip that in there, shake it off, and then that's when I go in and set everything else. What I love about this setting powder is it's not too drying. There are some setting powders out there that will literally suck every ounce of moisture that is in your makeup and in your face, and it will suck it right out. But this one, I feel like you can go on light-handed, heavy-handed, and I feel like it doesn't do that. I especially like to make sure I am setting really well the areas that I'm going to be blending out my bronzer, blush, things like that. We don't want anything to catch. Bronzer is the #1 culprit that will catch on any kind of wet patch, things like that. I'll have to do a cream contour and cream makeup tutorial because there are a lot of ways to have cream products and to do all that contouring without all the powders. This is what the foundation looks like set, and the concealer, I think it's absolutely beautiful. The Wet n Wild Photo Focus Loose Powder really just sets everything down. It's has such a blurring effect. I absolutely love it. The foundation still looks hydrated. The concealer is not creasing. This is my foundation routine. After this, I go in with my bronzer, my blush, brows, and then what really brings everything back to life is a setting spray. If you're interested in seeing how I accomplish the rest of that look, I do have an everyday makeup tutorial, which I will link right down below. It was uploaded just last week. To hop off the camera really fast, finish up my makeup, and then I will show you what the finished look looks like, and then we'll be on our way. So now that all my makeup is on, I think it turned out pretty good. The products that I used today, I used the Milani bronzer, the Silky Matte. This is amazing, I love it. It really does just leave like a natural, effortless glow, not too much fallout with that. And then I went in with my Fit Me Maybelline Pink Rose Blush. Guys, it's Drugstore. It's awesome. And it just leaves the most gorgeous flush. It's not too much. And then I use the Wet n Wild highlighter. I can't remember exactly what name this is, but it will be linked in the description box down below. And Wet n Wild just does such an amazing job with this highlighter. I mean, everybody's talking about it for a reason. And then I went in with my Precisely My Brow Benefit pencil and the 24-hour setting spray. Well, setting gel. And then I went in with the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist to just kind of set everything, melt everything together. And then with my lip products, I went in with the KKW x Mario Lip Bundle. So this is the pencil, the matte lipstick, as well as the gloss, and it looks really pretty. I don't wear it that often though, just because, I mean, 3 different steps for lips. That's a lot of steps, but it always turns out so beautifully. And then mascara, I use the L'Oreal Double Extend. One of my favorites, never smudges. It's pretty much stable. I really appreciate you guys watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you have any recommendations for me to film, go ahead and leave them in the comments below. Remember to subscribe. I will see you guys in the next one.
We are heroes